It is that time again. It's time for the top 10 alcoholic super yachts for this year, 2022. What a year it's been. Now, last year when I did this, I was, if I'm honest, a little bit short on the super yacht front. If I remember rightly, I cheated slightly and used my house as one of them. If you watched last year's top 10, you'll understand exactly what I mean by that. This year, the problem was almost the reverse, a very nice problem to have, but we really got out and about this year, got some really great boats and some really fantastic super yachts. So massive shout out to all the super yacht brokers out there, from Denison Yachts to Burgess to Ocean Independence and others. Sorry if I've forgotten you, because they really came good, really got behind the whole alcoholic thing, and we got some brilliant boats. And of course, the other thing that happened this year, as you may have seen already, is that Marianne joined Alcoholic, so she's getting involved too. So we're traveling more, doing more. We started the Alcoholic Yacht Club. We've got more merch. There's a load of stuff going on, and next year is going to be even better again. Really great times. Anyway, I digress. Let's get stuck into this, shall we? So in at number 10 is Trafalgar, an absolutely stunning mid-70s super yacht that's had a major refit recently. And the big news with it is that it featured in a James Bond film, which is always very exciting if you're a Bond geek like me. But I think the thing with it is it was just so classy, and I was interested to see how it would be received on the channel. Looking in the comments, you guys absolutely loved it, so it's well deserving of its top 10 spot, and a really great yacht. But check this out. How beautiful is that? That looks straight out of a Praro film, doesn't it? Unbelievable. Now, the interesting thing about this is it's mahogany, and it was originally all high gloss, like this. And they decided that was just a bit too bright and shiny, and so the whole thing was retreated when it had the refit and brought back to a matte finish, like a satin matte finish. It looks absolutely brilliant. It looks completely original, and it is. The wood is original, but the finish isn't. Check that out. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Again, as you can imagine, there's a whole stack of storage all the way around here, hanging lockers and so forth. And then this one has a rather palatial ensuite just in through here. If we head on aft, now I'm going to tell you about the James Bond connection now, because there was a film that came out, I think I'm right in saying in the 80s. It starred Timothy Dalton, and it was The Living Daylights. And he had just roared off the top of some cliffs at the Rock of Gibraltar in a Land Rover pursuing the baddie. It was plummeting towards the sea from a great height, on fire, and he parachuted out the back of the Land Rover, of course, to save himself. Baddie plummeting to his death. Land Rover exploded. You know the scene. We've all been there. And unfortunately, his parachute caught the debris from the exploding Land Rover, burnt holes in it, and he had to try and find something to land. And underneath him, saving James Bond, was this yacht. He landed up on here and swung in. Beautiful lady, glass of champagne. They don't make Bond films like they used to, do they? In at number 9 is the Amels 54 metre. Again, a bit of a golden oldie, again with a fairly major refit recently under its belt. But this was the second largest yacht at the time of filming that I'd ever covered for Alcoholic. In fact, it's the third largest, and if you stay tuned, you'll see why, because we've got something really mega coming for you guys. But yeah, second largest at the time of filming, and a really serious piece of kit. Absolutely beautiful finishes. The quality was exemplary. It had a lift in it, which really excited me. I've never been in a lift inside a yacht, and it was a proper lift. You know, push the button, doors close, 4 floors to choose from: sun deck, upper deck, main deck, or lower deck. It was the real deal. And one of the most incredible things on that yacht, of which there were many, was the engine space. When I went to tour the engine space, they said, "Oh, send somebody in with you just to show you around." And I thought, well, I've been in plenty of engine rooms. I'm not going to get lost, am I? Yes. It was vast. It was like a cathedral in there, and it was a good job I had the chap with me, because I would have struggled to find my way back out again, I think. But an amazing yacht, and a real privilege to get on board. And that power's open, and that's what greets us. And suddenly we're in a little oasis of quiet, aren't we? That's gorgeous. Okay, let's press on. Now you know you're into a serious big league super yacht when you have a separate dining room indoors, and that's through here. Go through this archway, we find the dining room. This is all owner's cabin. It's about the biggest I've ever seen. And we start off, obs, with the hairdressing salon. Make sure you look perfect, don't you, if you're in a yacht like this. And this is where you do it. Look at this. Okay, back over here. Forward again. There's another doorway here. And then we're into this area. So what we have is the, what shall we call it? Dressing room, I suppose. In through here. It's much, much more than the walk-in wardrobe, isn't it? So you've got then separate wardrobes off to the sides, like so. Spectacular. And on the other side is bathroom, ensuite, heads, call it what you will. But this, of course, is the biggest in the boat. So you've got jacuzzi bath here, and then you've got a separate shower in here. Now from here, you can come back into the passageway. Obviously there's toilet, bidet and so forth. You can come back into the passageway and go forward. There is also a door that connects directly through to this area. This is, as you probably gathered, the engineering spaces. Look at this. This is immense. I'm not even sure where the engines are. I'm just going to keep going. Aha.
These are pumps and generators.
Here we go. So that was pumps and generators. These are the engines. So what we have in here are a pair of Caterpillar huge diesel engines. There we go. They are 1,650 horsepower each. There's a pair of them, of course. And they're giving the boat about 16 knots flat out, but she cruises at around 13. And the maximum range of this one is about 3,600 miles. So clearly transatlantic. Let's go down through here a little bit. They've given me special slippers, look, to put on. Make sure that everything's kept perfect. Wow, look at this, it just goes on and on. This is obviously the workshop area. I believe there's another crew cabin back here somewhere. I think the engineer's cabin is back here. We're up on another deck now, coming around the top of the engines. Oh, this is just incredible, isn't it? I love this. In at number 8 is a rather unusual one because it's a boat that I never even got on board. It's a Lazzara 87 UHV, with UHV standing for ultra high volume. Now, the interesting thing about this one was they contacted me just before the Cannes Yacht Show to say, would you like to come and film our new yacht that's going to be there? And I said, yes, I very much would love to. Completely out of space, because we organise this stuff weeks in advance, get everything lined up, so that we can really make the most of the show. So I literally didn't have a slot to film it. So in the end, I said to Marianne, who'd only ever filmed one yacht tour of a 25-foot Axopar in her life, how do you fancy doing this one? So she went down there, she met the guys the day before, had a really good tour of the boat, got really familiar with it, came back the next day, and she absolutely nailed it. And you guys, again in the comments, were so complimentary. You absolutely loved it. So I think Marianne is going to be doing more of those. But it was a really fascinating boat. The UHV is ultra high volume. There's an awful lot of space on it for its length, but also a lot of the equipment in that boat is really high spec. It's really well put together, and a really interesting boat to get aboard.
And I love this view down. So you can see down to the main deck and below down to the lower deck, all that light flowing around. And I really want to draw your attention here as well too, how thick this floor is. So the whole yacht is fitted with floating ceilings and floors, and those are extra thick. They have extra insulation in them, so as well as containing all the ducts and all the wiring, keeping that discreetly out of the way, They've got extra insulation so that the whole boat is really, really soundproofed. This is a quick navigation system, and that's Italian. And I do know as well, this steering here, this is the data. This is a data steering system, and that's more commonly found in commercial yachts. So it really shows you the level of detail and the level of effort that's been put into this boat. Now, I wouldn't claim for a second to be an expert, an engineering expert at all, but this is very impressive. I will do my best to do it justice. Have a look. There are two Volvo Penta engines. One here, one here. P13 1000s. And in fact, two is a bit of a theme on this in this engine room. There's two of everything. Here's the water makers. There are two of them. And if I spin around this way, you'll see two boxes back there. Those are called sea chests. Let's have a little squint down one of them. So can you see an inlet, a water inlet down there? So what these are doing are taking in seawater, filtering it twice and exposing it to UV light. So fresh seawater comes in here, it's cleaned and filtered through here, and then it's usable by all the boat systems. So that includes water for the engine, water for the air conditioning, all of that goes through the sea chest first. Another salon. So we're on the upper deck now. Look at this space. Now this to me has the feel of a super friendly family, almost a hangout room. You've got, look at the seating, just designed so you can all sit really comfortably and cozily, maybe watch a movie in the evening. We've got a games table here. I love this. I think families playing games together is just fantastic. Really nice. I love this kind of wall. Oh look, I know what to do there. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The Lazzara UHV 87. Wasn't that amazing? So much boat, honestly. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I've enjoyed making it.
At number 7 is a CRN 142. Now this caused a little bit of confusion because normally when you get a number in the boat model, it refers to the length. This doesn't. It's actually a 170-foot yacht, a real beast. In fact, it was the second biggest I'd filmed until I filmed the Amels the next day. But nonetheless, that's not to take away from the sheer size and volume of it. But also, it's a brand new yacht, very modern, very discreet, if we can call a super yacht discreet in terms of the interior finishes. Very nicely done, and it really capitalized on some of the things that are becoming very, very important to super yacht owners. For example, the beach club, which is absolutely immense on that yacht. Some lovely living spaces on it. There's a nice cinema room on it, on the upper deck, a really massive sun deck up on top. They've also put all the tender storage right at the front, so you've got tenders in the bow, jet skis in the bow, and that's what frees up that space for that massive beach club back aft. It's a very intelligently configured boat. It absolutely nails what people are looking for in super yachts these days, and it was a really nice thing to get aboard. And what we have here then is the main saloon. So this is from the aft deck straight in, and it is, as you'd expect, pretty palatial. Okay, we're going to go this way, however. So we've got the bathing platform, of course, no need for tenders here because we've got the two tenders up on the bow and the jet skis are up on the bow. So there is this section here which will rise up onto the quay, or you can reverse that so it goes down and it drops into the water and then it just pivots round and drops flat into there flush when it's not in use. The passerelle is extended. That's where we came onto the boat when we first started the tour, and then this is the transom section that lifts up here and drops down when the boat's underway to completely infill this area. So if we head this way now, and this is the beach club. Check this out. This is a wonderful area. You're right down at water level, as you can imagine, because, well, the back of the boat and the water is just there. Got this wonderful little area down here. TV down here as well. It's be a nice little film area, actually, wouldn't it? Come down here and watch a movie. But actually, there's much more to it than just that, because we've got this area around here, which is ice maker and fridge, and then in here is the shower, but also steam room. Look at that. That's fantastic, isn't it? Just brilliant. Number 6 slot is an Alpha Yachts, a 102-foot yacht. I'd actually been on an Alpha Yachts 125 down at the Monaco show, but out in Fort Lauderdale we got aboard the 102-foot version, and I have to say I rather fell in love with that. It's actually a charter yacht. It's run by Denison Yachts, and it was a very, very impressive yacht to get aboard, mostly because it had been configured so very, very well just for chartering and partying. For example, there was an absolutely immense beach club setup at the back end of the yacht. The owner's cabin was one of the best I've ever seen on pretty much any yacht. There's a huge, huge upper deck on it as well. It was just a lovely thing, very well put together, very good layout, really nice thing to see. Check this out. So from this threshold forward, there we go, this is all the owner's cabin. Look at this. So you've got a dressing area here, but I love this area. What a beautiful place to come down here. You've got windows which are just above the waterline, so your view out there normally would be of the ocean. As I say, obviously we're moored alongside another boat at the minute, so you're not getting the effect of that, but you get the idea. Actually, you get it better on this side. Look at this. If you come over here, you can see where the water is. We are pretty much at water level, so the view here is just fantastic. But what a wonderful retreat that is. That's just great. This has got one of the largest flybridges I've seen on a 100-foot yacht. It's just vast. What I'm going to do, in fact, is go right aft first of all, so you can get the full impression of this, because it's just gigantic. Let's come right back here, spin on around, check that out. What a party zone. That's fantastic. Wonderful seating area around here. And then you've got the barbecue over here, real big barbecue. The bar area. Like so. It's all about social living, this, isn't it? At number 5 is a Perini Navi 37 metre. This is something completely different, mostly because it's a sailing boat, but a really big 37 metre sailing boat. It's the kind of thing that you could step aboard and disappear off and come back 5 years later. You could tour the world in that in absolute comfort. Like all Perini Navis, it's a real class act. The quality, the layout, the way it's done, there's a real gentleman's club theme to the interior. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it was a real privilege to get on board of that one. How cozy is that? That is absolutely stunning. You've got a dining area down here as well, or someone to play cards or whatever you want to do. It's proper traditional, isn't it? And super, super classy. And if we press on back again, this takes us down this passageway and we jink into here, and this is the owner's cabin. And it's everything you could hope for. This is hanging lockers in here. Bedrooms in here. That's fantastic, isn't it? Just amazing. If we come right back, this one's got a walk-in dressing room or wardrobe. So that's in here, like so. And these all roll up so that obviously you can access everything. The drawers for all your bits and pieces. It's just stunning, isn't it? Back out through here, this one has an ensuite, of course. That is in here. With a bath. With whirlpool jets in. You don't need to slum it just because you're sailing around the world, do you? At number 4 is Majesty's new 120. Now, we've done a few Majesties on the channel. In fact, the single most popular video on the entire channel is the Majesty 140, which is about to hit 5 million views, which is very exciting. So always keen to get on a new Golfcraft Majesty yacht, and the 120 certainly was no exception. As ever with Majesty, it just feels like a really contemporary yacht. They've made great use of the space on board. It really felt, I mean, 120-foot yacht, it's a big boat, but even taking that into consideration, it really felt like it punched above its weight in terms of the cabin space and just the amount of space on board generally. It was fantastic. This is the saloon. Look at this. This is beautiful. The amount of space that we've got in here. You must excuse my voice, by the way. I've been talking non-stop, filming boats down here at the show, and we're right at the end. But yeah, that is impressive. I love all the light finishes everywhere, and then these accented dark panels. That's great. There's a TV there that will of course retract, and then we'll carry on through up to the dining area. Really big, comfortable dining area. Love this chandelier above it, and the way they finished this panel across here, that looks really, really good. There's a massive dressing area here, so these doors will slide like so. We've got a safe in here as well, of course, and then this great big hanging closet, double rails. So plenty of space there, but as that's not enough, you've got yet more of it here, another hanging rail, yet more storage. And then this is the main deck master. Look at that, that's absolutely beautiful. Really, really good. Love this backlit stone across here. That's such a nice feature. And again, you're seeing these sort of accents around the place. Now, the ensuite for this is here. There's doors that slide across to enclose it, or you can have it open, and of course the shower and the loo are then off separate. And the TV is there as well. You can see it on the rear bulkhead. Forward bulkhead, I should say, that's from which way we're pointing. Of course, you may ask the question, well, that's great, but if those doors are shut, you're not going to see it. And you're right, that's when you invoke the one that's in the ceiling that powers down so you can still watch your movie uninterrupted if you want to. Okay, so that's two of the cabins down here on the lower deck. We'll press on forward a bit further. Look how big this is when we're coming through here and walk through. It's fabulous. Down here we've got a load of storage for all sorts of bits and pieces for housekeeping, really. And there's another fridge tucked away down here as well, so if people want to just grab a bottle of water or something, then they can do. If we head on forward, we've got two more cabins. These are twins, as you can see. And again, wardrobe in behind here. I won't open them all. You probably can guess what a wardrobe looks like on the inside. And then the shower again. And the toilet and the basin. And then, as you might expect, we've got a similar deal over here. Because when you come through here, you get the impression of the size of the boat, the length of this corridor down through here. That's what I mean. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The VIP, that's 5. And then the owner's cabin that we saw on the main deck, that's 6. It's a big boat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come round here. And we're going to keep circling on round, because if we come round here, we'll find another stairway. This is taking us up to the upper deck. Love the lighting they put in here. That's gorgeous. And we'll come right on round, and we will head forward first of all. And this is the wheelhouse. Hi, am I okay to film? Perfect, thank you so much. This is a very, very commanding position, because you can see you've got the forward sloping screens, a tremendous view out. And this is the kind of thing you need when you are captaining a ship of this caliber. Look at this, it's superb. In at number 3 is a yacht I'd never heard of before. It's an Extra Yachts 96 Triplex. They contacted me before Cannes and said, we've got one down at the show, we'd like to come and see it. And I was blown away by that. It's actually a company that's owned by the Palumbo Group. I think I pronounced that correctly. They build really big super yachts. So this for them is actually a relatively compact boat. For us mortals, it's huge. It's a 96 footer. What's interesting about it is one of the new generation of more compact super yachts. Comes in at under 100 foot, and I think I'm right in saying under the 24 metre hull length regulations, which means it's a more economical yacht to run. But they just got so much into that. The finish was lovely, the space was great, but they'd actually got 4 decks onto it. I've not seen that before on a sub 100 foot yacht. So you've got a lower deck, the main deck, and an upper deck, and they'd squeezed a sun deck up on top. And it was just terrific, the amount of space they built into that boat. I want to show you firstly the galley, and that's in here, again with a side access door. There we go, proper full-on galley, masses of refrigeration. We've got the great big Miele induction hob across there, the big Miele cooker, loads of storage about the places you'd expect. And this then can be open to the dining area, or this can be closed off. Again, it just depends how you run the boat. And this little fella here, this extra stairway, takes us up to a private little sun deck right up on top of the boat. Here we go. How nice is that? Breezy old day today. This bimini on top, I'm told, will handle up to 30 knots. The boat doesn't do 30 knots, but it just goes to show how much that will take. And it's coping very well with a very, very breezy day today. These are carbon fibre poles that are holding it up. And then here we've got all the antennas, navigation stuff, 2 radars, satellite communications, and so forth, all on the back. But what a great little area this is, all very private, all very tucked away, right on top of the boat. Over here we have the Tabernacle. I've learnt the name for it. Sink underneath that one, and then you've also got refrigeration down underneath here, and then storage across here, and a brilliant view, of course, out across the front of the boat. Good afternoon, Cannes, on a breezy day. In at number 2 is a Sanlorenzo SD90. Now, Sanlorenzo always field a great super yacht. We've had a few of them on the channel now, always well received, always a great boat to look around. And what's great about Sanlorenzo is the breadth of their super yacht range. So they do really high performance ones, they do fast cruising ones, and then they do displacement ones, which are designed to go a little slower and a little more comfort, give you a little bit more space because they're a bit more voluminous. And that's what this is. That's what the D in SD90 stands for. And so what you get on that yacht, again, is an incredible amount of space. The owner's cabin on the main deck is spectacular, done a really good job with the heads arrangement on that one, and it was a lovely, lovely yacht. This takes us down to the lower deck, so this is guest cabins. But what they've done here, which is brilliant, is that as you come down here, look at the way it all forms around here, it's beautiful. You've got this fabulous area down here. Can you imagine how great that would be for kids to come down as a little gaming room perhaps, or just a chill out zone, just a separate space on the boat? That is so nice. But what's brilliant about it is that these here are pocket doors. So you can pull these across and completely close this off. That will turn into a double bed, and that becomes another cabin. So it gives you a 4 cabin layout, or 3 cabins in this amazing area here. It has an ensuite, of course, that's here. So when it is closed off, you've got that area there, and then in here these just close this area off completely if you want it to be closed off, and these are again your toilet on that side, and then if we spin around here, showers in here. But that, I think, is a lovely area. I really like the idea of that. If you're not using all the cabins, and of course a lot of the time you aren't necessarily cruising with everybody filling all the cabins, then that just makes a terrific little extra snug. And this has got the upper helm position on it, so you can helm the boat right here as well. Of course it mirrors a lot of that instrumentation that we saw, so you've got the screens here, the throttles, OCD's kicking in, there we go, bow and stern thrusters, big vertical wheel, and a great view out, like so. This of course will slide across to close this area off, and you've got loads of seating here so people can sit and enjoy the ride facing forwards, see where they're going. If we head on back, there's a big hardtop on here, as you can see. Very helpful today, it's really hot down in the south of France. And then we've got this area here, so huge, great social area, masses of sun lounging across the back. We've got the bimini up at the moment as well, so a bit of extra shade. And then round here is the wet bar for this area. So if you lift that up, there we go, you've got the, there's a name for these, somebody will tell me. Can't remember what it is, but it's like a kind of hot plate thing. And then you've got the sink here, of course, and then underneath there, a bit of storage, and then there's a fridge for this area as well. So that is that. Let's press on. So we'll loop round here. We'll have a quick look at this at the back. So this is the sunbathing area at the back of the boat. That's a big area, isn't it? You do have to remind yourself that you're on a 90-footer because it just feels huge. And then finally, in at number 1 slot, it is Princess's brand new Y95. I was lucky enough to be invited down to Plymouth on the very first one launched to have a private tour of it, and they've done a great job. What they've done is it's another of these yachts that fits within a 24-meter hull length regulations. They've done it before with the X95. This one, I think it's the same hull as the X95, but it's a very different feel, a very different vibe. The X95 is all about interior accommodation, and it does that brilliantly. This one is, it's still got tremendous accommodation, but it majors a little bit more on the deck space. So you've got some wonderful outside areas. The boat looks a bit sleeker as well, I think, because of the fact they're not trying to get quite so much accommodation into it, but it just works. It's one of those boats you go around and you just find virtually nothing to criticize and so much to like. It's a very, very impressive job by Princess Yachts. This just feels so spacious as you come into here. It's fantastic. Big windows. There's a lot of options in here as well, actually. So this is an owner spec table in here. You can change, for example, this dining table. You can have a circular dining table over on this side, and you can have a bar area that comes out around here. You've got sliding doors over here. You can choose to have a window if you prefer. You can choose to have sliding doors on that side if you prefer. So there's a lot you can do here to make it exactly how you want it. A lot of neat little details tucked away as well. So for example, if we look in here, we've got the name Hi-Fi Systems. There's one for the saloon and one for the cockpit. And the details in here, the little bits of upholstery on here and the stainless steel work, and of course the woodwork, which is very much a Princess thing, is just beautiful. All the light switches are here, but also you've got things like the TV lifts. So this one here swings this one into life, and you'll notice there's another button there, and I'll explain that when we go outside. But that one there is a 65-inch TV, and we've got surround sound as well. So we've got speakers up here, we've got speakers up here. That makes that a really great movie area. There's a little button down here, which if I push it, will power that one open, and this takes us straight into the galley. A lot to look at here. First of all, you've got a door here for the crew to go straight out onto the side deck and out of the boat without needing to go through the guest areas if they prefer. Other things that we've got here, let's just power that one shut again. This is quite neat. This is for a coffee machine, but also you can close this off because this slides out. There's so much detail on this, and then swings across, so we can close that if we want to. If we look underneath, that again, cutlery and crockery, all beautifully stowed and safe and wonderfully presented. That's just so nice. I'm so enthusiastic about this boat, honestly. And this is the main deck owner cabin. Check this out. Absolutely stunning. Loads of space. Worth mentioning, this is a very different layout here to the X95. They've not just simply taken an X95 and put a different top on it. This, on the X95 for example, this is further forward, and the heads area is back behind it. There's a window at the front and so on. They've changed this quite a bit for this boat. Talking of changes, you can change this if you want to. So we've got a seating area here. If you want to have a little table in the centre and a couple of chairs, you can. If you want to have a storage down there, then you can do. But actually there is a ton of storage. So you've got it in places like this. So wardrobe there. There's another one just behind me on this side. And in fact, if we go right around here, got this beautiful dressing table. Again, more storage about the place. That lifts up like so. Soft touch close. Another thing you've got here, which is rather neat, is another drinks cooler. So you don't need to go far for your drinks. And, as if that wasn't enough, and this just feels a little bit James Bond. Check this out. Like a drink, Moneypenny. I'll just get a glass. There we go. Also here, big walk-in wardrobe. Check this out. That's a great size. You've got drawers down in here as well, of course. Oh, there we go. So these, I don't need to show you what a drawer looks like, do I? But again, all soft close. And if we come across here, that is the ensuite for this cabin. So we've got toilet down this end, and this has its frosted door, so you've got that to come across as well. Thusly, and then you've got the twin sinks, you've got more storage down underneath, and then you've got the shower down this end. And again, of course, the blind, so you can have a bit more privacy if you want it, and those circular sections are opening sections. It's a rainfall shower, and you've got the wand shower there as well. But that is heated towel rail, heated floor as well. It's just really nice to stand on. That's a magnificent cabin, isn't it? So that's it. That is the Super Yacht top 10 as ever. Let me know what you think. What have I forgotten? What have I missed? What should I have done better? What should I have done worse? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and we will be out there again next year hunting down some of the best yachts we can get on board and bring them to you guys and giving you some really great videos to enjoy. Have a brilliant 2023, and we will catch up with you really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.